Hey guys, today we're going to do the unboxing and overview of the Astell and Kern AN Ultima SP3000M. So this is Astell and Kern's previous flagship music player. So Astell and Kern is a South Korean company, and they're known for making very high-end digital audio players, and they've been doing that for over 10 years now. They're actually one of the pioneers in making high-end music players. So nowadays you see a lot of companies making DAPs, digital audio players on the market. A lot of them past $1,000 or even $2,000, and Astell and Kern really kind of kickstarted that trend there. And yeah, so the SP3000M was very interesting to me because it's actually one of the very, very few, if not the only one, has a flagship level chip inside of it, like a DAC chip, and also it's very portable at the same time. So I find that with the flagships of other companies that make digital audio players like Shanling and iBasso and FiO, Cayin, like they all make their players really big as you move up the line into their flagship level. All their players get much bigger and less portable, which kind of, to me, defeats the purpose of having a digital audio player, because you want it to be portable and be able to carry it around when you're traveling or just walking around outside, right? That's a whole point. Otherwise, if you're just gonna carry something big, right, it's not that portable, and you're just listening at home, and what's the point of having that, right? You can just use a external, desktop amplifier, a desktop DAC, right? So to me, the whole point of a digital audio player is to be portable and be able to carry it outside very easily, and also have really good sound quality, obviously. So the SP3000M is interesting. It's basically a shrunken down version of the SP3000, which was their previous flagship. The current flagship is now the SP4000, which is really expensive. But I saw this one at a discount on sale. I got it from basically someone I know online, and yeah, I got a big discount for it. Originally it retailed for, actually this is the copper nickel version, which retails for even more. The original SP3000M retails for around $2,300 US. This is the copper nickel version, which is like a special limited version, retails for $2,700 US, quite a bit, but I got this on discount for about $1,800. So anyways, that's head-fi prices. So I've always wanted to check out this music player because, yeah, it's flagship level audio quality and chips inside of it, and it's also very portable, unlike all the other flagships of other music players. So yeah, let's take a look here. So yeah, this is the copper nickel version here, and yeah, of course, nothing too much on the back here. Qualcomm aptX HD support, that's always nice, in case I want to use Bluetooth. A bit about the specs inside of this thing. So it uses the Teraton Alpha technology that Astell Kern advertises on all their newer players. Qualcomm Snapdragon 6125 CPU, which should be faster than the SC300 that I've used before, because I always found Astell Kern's interface to be a bit like laggy, I would say, not as responsive as the Android players. So hopefully this newer CPU would be more responsive. We'll see. The chip inside of it is a AK4499EX. That's the flagship DAC chip by Kase, and they have 4 of them. So it's a quad DAC AK4499EX. So this should be very good sound quality, right? It uses 4 of the top of the line Astell Kern DACs inside of it. It's got the octa-core Snapdragon, native DSD512 decoding, and yeah, aptX HD and LDAC support. So let's take a look. Very high hopes for this one. This will be the highest end music player I've ever unboxed. Ooh, look at this. Very nice wooden box here. That's pretty nice. Yeah, I've never, well, this is, I guess this is the first flagship level DAP I've ever unboxed. All the other ones I've had were mid-range at best, like the Cayin N7. I'll probably compare it to the N7 actually, because that's the best sounding music player I have so far. But yeah, this has a really nice wooden box. That's nice. It's real wood too, I guess. Looks like real wood. So yeah, really nice that it comes in this real wooden box here. Really makes it feel like a premium luxury watch unboxing actually. All right, let's take a look. Okay. So this is the actual music player inside of here. Of course, it's secondhand, right? So it's not exactly like perfectly sealed or anything, but it's still in very good condition. So let's take a look here. So on this side, what do we get here from this box? Okay, so we get a nice carrying case. Okay, so this one comes with a carrying case, which is really nice because with Astell and Kern players, they usually have these really sharp corners, so it makes it kind of annoying to hold. So it's good. You pretty much have to use a case with them. So yeah, this is a nice leather case, very high quality leather. I think it's from this Italian company, this Italian leather company. Yeah, Pro Mastrato. Yeah, it's from a high-end Italian leather company. So it's a pretty nice high-end leather case. So it's good they included that. That would have been like $100 extra separate or something like that, knowing Astell Kern. Okay, so quick start guide. Do I really need that for a music player? Well, yeah, I guess it should be pretty self-explanatory. It's like a phone, right? You don't really need that too much. Then we have some extra here. Native DSD is preloaded with Astell Kern DSD sampler. Oh, it comes with an album there. Is Rune ready? Oh, okay. I don't care if you guys see that because I don't use Rune, so whatever. You see that serial or use it, I don't care. I don't use Rune. Okay. So yeah. Anyways, nice leather case. Okay, and we of course get the warranty as well. Dreamus is the parent company of Astell Kern. They also used to be called iRiver, actually. Actually, iRiver maybe still exists. They just don't really make music players anymore. Astell Kern really was the high-end premium line offering of iRiver. Okay, and oh, this is for micro SD card slot cover. Okay, so that's to because it it has a micro SD card slot, so it's to like a dummy cover so that it doesn't get dust side to side of it. And then it comes with a USB-C to a USB-C cable here. That's, pretty much expected at this point. Yeah, just standard USB-C to USB-C cable. Okay, anyways, this side here. Warranty. Okay, now let's take a look at the music player itself. Yeah, it is actually very, very portable and easy to hold in the hand. That's really why I like the SP3000M. Also is very premium feeling. Yeah, this is a pretty hefty player. Like, to look up the weight of this, but this is actually one of the heaviest players I felt, surprisingly, given the size. So just want to double check. Okay, 237 grams. Okay, so yeah, despite the fact that this is this is a small looking player, it's actually substantially heavy in the hand, more than you would expect. So just be aware of that. It is like, yeah, but it feels premium because of that as well. Interestingly, on the back, they don't have any textures like they usually do with their other players, so no textured back here. Actually, maybe there is. It's just very, very fine. Okay, yeah, it's like very, very fine, small lines on the back here. It's kind of hard to see, but it's not as yeah, it doesn't stand out as much as the backs on their other players, like the SC300. Doesn't say made in Korea, even though I'm sure it is. I'm sure this one's made in Korea. This is their highest end flagship level DAP. Doesn't say made in Korea like the other ones do, interestingly. Just says Astell Kern AN Ultima on the back here. Yeah, and very, very nice smooth finish here. Yeah, it feels like stainless steel actually, but I know it's copper nickel. This is a copper nickel alloy, but yeah, it feels almost like a premium stainless steel type finish, so really nice. Yeah, the watch crown basically looks like a watch crown, doesn't it? It's a volume dial, but Astell and Kern makes it look like a luxury watch crown, and they always put so much attention into the design of the crown actually in Astell and Kern players. So really, really nice and clicky. Good amount of resistance. Yeah, I don't think this one lights up like the regular SP3000 does, or the SC300 dial does, but whatever, that's fine. Still very, very responsive, and you can see how much work they put into this crown. It's just a really nice feeling crown. Astell Kern is some of the best feeling dials in the business. And then on top here, power button, 4.4 millimeter balanced and 3.5 millimeter unbalanced. They got rid of the 2.5 millimeter from the SP3000, and I understand that because, well, 2.5 millimeter kind of went away as a standard because 4.4 was preferred. I know Astell Kern was pushing the 2.5 connector for a very long time, but because the industry really moved towards Sony's 4.4 Pentacon instead, so they just kind of gave up, and yeah. If you want to use 2.5, you can still use an adapter, but yeah, generally 4.4 is the industry standard now for balanced. Then you have the media playback, like this is previous, this is next, and this is play pause. And then down here, of course, you have a USB-C connection and micro SD card slot. Yeah, so very premium looking and feeling device. And just for size comparison, I have my Cayin N7 here, which is a mid-range player from Cayin. And also, yeah, this is probably my best sounding digital audio player right now. This is actually very close sounding to their flagship N8 II anyways. So yeah, this sounds really good. I really love, I compared it to the SP3000 in a previous video, and I basically talked about how amazing, like how it sounds so fun and energetic, and yeah, it just sounds really musical. So I really do like the sound of the 1-bit DAC inside of the N7. So I'll be comparing these two. Obviously, you guys can see the size difference. The N7 is kind of like this big chunky beast here. It feels like carrying like a portable battery pack, whereas the SP3000M obviously is much more portable. It's a 4-inch display, right? So you can see the difference here. And this one is like, I think the N7 is like a more 5-inch or something, but anyways, I like the fact that the SP3000M is nice and small, easy to hold. But interestingly, weight-wise, it's a bit different because the SP3000M actually weighs more than the N7, believe it or not. The N7 looks bigger, of course, but the SP3000M actually feels heavier in the hand. And it's just because of the different materials that they use. The N7 still uses, like you guys can see, it's kind of like, is this aluminum? Yeah, maybe aluminum or something, but it's not all aluminum, right? It's like part of it does feel plastic as well. So yeah, it doesn't weigh actually that much. It's big, but it doesn't actually weigh as much as it looks. Whereas the SP3000M is obviously made of some kind of heavier material here. It's copper and nickel alloy, feels like stainless steel. Yeah, obviously made of some kind of heavier material. So despite the fact that it's smaller, actually it weighs more. But hey, it actually feels more premium as a result. So anyways, I'll be comparing both of these. The N7 has a 1-bit DAC inside of it and runs full Android. The Astell and Kern has their own operating system, and yeah, it runs 4 AKM 4499EX DACs, which is Delta Sigma DAC. So it's, yeah, a bit of a different architecture. But yeah, we'll test it out and see what happens. So just wait a minute, I'll give you guys the rundown of the UI. Okay, so now I have them both in their cases and booted up and running. So basically for the Cayin N7 runs Hybe OS, which is basically Android. It's a version of Android that bypasses the Android kind of restriction on bitrate, I guess. So you have access to the yeah, the fully unlocked audio capabilities, I guess, without any bitrate restriction. And I prefer to use Hybe music player on the Cayin N7. I'm very used to it because I own a Hybe music player for many years. So yeah, it's generally pretty snappy and responsive. I think this is a Snapdragon, what, 660, 665, I think maybe. So anyways, I find it fairly responsive. So searching for anything, say if I want to search for Michael Jackson here, yeah. So and this comes up, okay, and yeah, so it's generally pretty snappy and responsive. I haven't had any issues with the N7. And if I want to play a song like this, then yeah, this media. This is the music player for Hybe. By the way, the Hybe music player is available in the Android store, so anyone with Android can just download it. And yeah, this is the interface you'll get. In all, I think in general it's a pretty good, solid music player, and I recommend it. So if you guys are looking for a music player for your Android phone or whatever, I think Hybe music player is pretty good. The lyrics, and it'll tell you about the stats of the song. You can kind of repeat it, favorite, shuffle, go back to the album, you know, play pause. So yeah, anyways, that's the interface of the Cayin. Generally I like it. It's pretty similar to any Hybe music player as well. They both use the same operating system. So any high-end Hybe music player and high-end Cayin music player uses the same operating system essentially, which is generally pretty good. You know, it's full-blown Android. You can install any apps that you want on it from an Android store. or Google Play Store rather. So yeah, and it's generally pretty snappy. So just I have a lot of albums on here, but yeah, no issues. Now when it comes to the Astell and Kern, historically I've not really liked Astell and Kern players. I've always felt like Astell and Kern's players are just, the interface isn't quite as good as the ones on Android, but it seems like with this one it's actually quite snappy. So I think that's because they actually put the highest, their best processor inside of this one, and they should, right? It's their flagship model. So this is generally more snappy compared to any other Astell and Kern I've used, like the SP3000. I felt like the SP3000 was still a little bit slow and laggy for me. But the SP3000M doesn't seem to have that issue. It's pretty snappy and responsive. So yeah, I think this is probably the best performing Astell and Kern player I've seen in terms of the responsiveness. No issues here. Only thing is on this main display here where they list everything by CD covers. You click into the CD cover and you can kind of see the songs here. And yeah, this is what the interface looks like for Astell and Kern, right? You got the repeat, the shuffle, play pause. It'll tell you the format, favorite. You can add your playlist, go to album, go to artist, go to folder, and let's see. I think you can see the lyrics too. Yeah, lyrics is empty here, but you can see the lyrics too if you double tap. So pretty much everything you need here. Home, you go home, and then you go to this home interface. Is like this kind of like cover flow like interface. Remember cover flow for iPod? So yeah, it's kind of like this, except they have CD covers for the album covers instead. And then you can go to the VU meter as well to, I guess if you like this kind of vintage screen, and you can put full screen if you want as well. Just if you're playing some music, actually let's do that. Let's play this and then see what happens with the VU meter. Yeah, so if you just wanted to have some more of like a vintage vibe, looks like a vintage amplifier when you have the VU meters out here, so that's cool, I guess. But I'm not sure how much I would actually use that. This is to have the different services. So Astell and Kern has their own operating system, which is closed. Unlike with Cayin, you can just go to the Google Play Store, right? And you can install whatever apps you want, streaming apps or YouTube or whatever. But with Astell and Kern, you're kind of limited to the apps that they let you install. VLink, Tidal. So I think VLink is for YouTube. But this thing doesn't really take videos. Like, the cool thing about Android is you can actually play videos on that thing, right? And you'll get the higher, sound quality from the DAC and everything. If you want to play videos, right, you can. But with Astell and Kern players, generally you cannot. You can only play audio. And then you have some external apps. These are only the apps that Astell and Kern supports: Rune, Tidal, Spotify, Amazon Music, Qobuz, Deezer. Apple Music is in here as well. Yandex, Melon, which is Korean. Bugs, which is also Korean. So yeah, I would say in general, if you're looking for like an open interface, yeah, Astell and Kern doesn't have it. They do have it with their newer player, SP4000. They actually opened it up to Android, full Android, which is nice. But for their older players like this one, yeah, you just have to make do with whatever apps they let you. And generally, it's all just music only. You can't play any videos on Astell and Kern players, unfortunately. That's one great thing I liked about Cayin and Hybe and Fio, right? They all have full Android. But yeah, all the other Chinese players seem to be more open with that. But yeah, I actually don't really like this interface as much as cover flow, because you can't search using this interface, which is really annoying, actually. In order to search, you have to go into this interface, which shows the songs, albums, artist, genre, playlist, folder, favorites, HD audio, CD library, because you can actually rip CDs using this thing. Yeah, you have to go into this interface, which I think should have been the primary interface. Like, I don't know what is the point of having the CD cover flow interface. It looks cooler, but it's more annoying to scroll through your library. If you have a library of thousands of albums, like I do, it's going to take forever to scroll through these, right? So there's no way to search. Whereas you have to go into here to search, right? If I search for Michael Jackson here, whoops. Yeah, and by the way, this is going to search as I type as well, so it should automatically just give me the results here. Go to album, and here's where I can kind of select the album here. Okay, yeah, that's then you can select something here. So really, you have to go into this interface to search. Yeah, so that's kind of annoying. I don't know why you just can't do it from their home interface here. But it is snappy, right? So that's good. The Cayin snappy, and yeah, so is the Astell and Kern. I think they're both pretty snappy. So the first time I can say that an Astell and Kern player is snappy. All the other players that I've used, they were too slow and laggy for me, but it's good. Anyways, so you have this menu here. So you have AK Connect, which you can use to, I think, stream stuff from this one to other devices. You stream songs from this device, I guess, which is cool. Services, which is, yeah, just whatever you can download from that Astell and Kern store, essentially. AK File Drop, Rune Ready, I don't use Rune. Equalizer, if you guys are into EQing, I'm not. I just usually keep that normal. DAC filter, by default, it's short delay, sharp roll off. So I just usually keep it at default. Timer settings, yeah, so you can just show when to turn the device off when not in use. And yeah, let's see here. You can pull down from the top because it is kind of like a heavily skinned version of Android. So you can still do that. The Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, EQ, crossfeed. It can connect line out, gapless, replay and gain in settings. Change brightness as well. Connect to Wi-Fi, right? Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, all there. You can also look at the settings here. Bluetooth codec. System selection is default, but it supports, you know, LDAC with Save-A-Tech. I don't know what Save-A-Tech is, but yeah, aptX HD. It doesn't have aptX lossless, unfortunately, but not many things support aptX lossless right now anyways. AK Connect, File Drop, Rune Ready, Equalizer, Crossfeed, Digital Audio Remaster. You can choose, basically this will upsample lower bitrate songs. DAC filter, LR balance, gapless, replay and gain, line out. Of course, unlike with the Cayins, this is another feature that Hy-Vee and Cayin both have with their music players, or the high-end music players. You can have this dedicated line out or pre-out ports here. Now Astell and Kern doesn't do that, so you just have to go into the software to kind of change it into line out instead. So you have the line out options. You can change the headphone jack to be line out or powered out. Playback settings, you can change that. CD Ripper has that built-in USB mode, USB audio, car mode, notification volume display, and this is all the different settings and everything, system update and everything, okay? So yeah, that's the interface of the Astell and Kern. Overall, I would still prefer it if it was full Android. That's what basically all the other Chinese companies do. They just have full Android on their music players. Astell and Kern, they just go with their own, but I do notice that with their latest flagship device, the SP3000, they went into full Android. So they basically kind of acquiesced and said, yeah, the interface that Astell and Kern has is a bit limiting, right? For most people, you can't play any videos, for example. You can only play music, can't do YouTube or anything. So I know that's a bit limiting to some people, and I think they realized that and just opened it up to full Android now. But yeah, this is still like their older generation players, so you can only play music. And unfortunately, I do think that the operating system is still a limiting factor. But at least with this one, the SP3000M, the processor is up to par, so it's relatively speedy and snappy. So there's at least that. Scrolling through this is you know, no lag or anything like that. I couldn't say that about the SC300 or their older players. Like, it was always very slow, and I had to wait like a few seconds, maybe like a second, I think, before something happened, or maybe a few seconds. It's just, yeah, waiting when you're like scrolling through stuff, and searching would take a while. So I always found their older players, and even their SC300, like the mid-range player, yeah, it just wasn't that usable because of the speed. But because of this one, they actually put a decent processor in it. Okay, now it's actually snappy. So at least there's that, right? And I never had an issue, of course, with Hy-Vee and Cayin players, because I always think that the processor that they put into their higher end players is always pretty good, or mid-range players even. This is kind of a mid-range player technically for Cayin. Yeah, so never really have too much of an issue searching for anything. It's just generally pretty snappy for them. So yeah, anyways, I've always preferred the full Android interface. I'm glad that Astell and Kern finally moved to it with their newer players, but this one is still stuck on using their proprietary, heavily skinned version of Android, unfortunately. But hey, at least they put a pretty good, decent processor inside of this one, so it's actually, yeah, snappy, and yeah, I don't mind using this one at least. Yeah, the other Astell and Kern players, I had an issue using them. This one, no issue. So there's at least that. I just have to, yeah, only use this for music, which is fine. I mean, that's what it's for. It's a music player. It's just nice to be able to have, like, if you want to install something like Hios or MusicCast or Playfi, if you have something streaming at home, you can't do that with the Astell Kern. But, you know, for an Android player like this, you can just install it. And those are the little things, right? Like, obviously, if you have a limited amount of app selection, there's going to be some apps that you want that the Astell Kern player doesn't have. But with full-blown Android, you can just install whatever, right? And this one can view videos, obviously, if you have YouTube on it and stuff. So anyways, I'll give you guys my subjective listening impressions, and then I'll have a sound test. So see if you guys can hear the differences yourself, so stay tuned. Alright, so now I'm ready to test out the different music players and compare them. So the Cayin N7 versus the Astell Kern SP3000M. Keep in mind, the N7 retailed for $1,900 US, and SP3000M, the original version, retailed for $2,300. So a little bit more. Copper nickel version, even more, $2,700, which is just a cosmetic change, really. So I think the original was in aluminum, and the copper nickel version, of course, in this copper nickel, yeah, kind of alloy, or it looks like stainless steel almost. So anyways, I'm gonna be comparing both of them using the Dan Clark Audio Nora X's, which is kind of my go-to at home, or really just really good pair of overall over-ear headphones. So these have been my main over-ear headphones now. Really has a soundstage comparable to an open back headphone, to be honest. So yeah, after I had the Nora X's, basically I was like, wow, I'm getting open back sound in a closed back headphone. So really it's the best of both worlds, right? You get noise isolation, sound isolation, and you get the airy open soundstage of a open back. So anyways, I found like the Nora X, yeah, this is a really good pair of over-the-ear headphones, especially under $1,000. If you guys are looking for an over-ear headphone under $1,000 with the best mix of sound quality, tuning, soundstage, detail, the Nora X's are really good. Highly recommend the Dan Clark Nora X's. Okay, so first I'm going to test out using the Cayin N7. This is what I've been listening to the past few weeks, so let's check it out here. Yeah, 1-bit DAC inside of this one. It's just kind of Cayin's own implementation. What a 1-bit DAC does is that it kind of oversamples, and really it ups the resolution of whatever signal is coming into it, into, like, you can choose DSD 64 all the way to DSD 512 on this. So oversample it up to DSD 64 to 512 level, which is like, you know, really crazy high bit rates because it's high res. DSD is really the audio format for super audio CD, so really high res. And then yeah, I'll convert it to PCM after that. So let's see. Okay. By the way, power-wise, yeah, power-wise, the Cayin N7 has about 500 milliwatts on the balance, which isn't that much, but it's kind of deceivingly small because when I do listen to it on my headphones, it doesn't have any problem driving my headphones. So even though the power output does seem small on the N7, it actually isn't. Like, it drives my headphones, the planar magnetic headphones, which these are, pretty well, yeah, without any issues. So yeah. Basically it drives it pretty well. So far I haven't had any complaints. And then the SP3000M, I actually don't know how much power this has because Astell Kern doesn't use wattage. They use this VRMS rating, so I'm actually not too sure. But I think it should have somewhere maybe similar to the SC300, which is maybe like 700, 800 milliwatts maybe. So it's definitely more power on tap than the N7, but not like that much more. Anyways, we'll see. Okay, so basically, I think when you get up, when it comes to DAPs at least, I'm probably most audio gear, but yeah, definitely I'm at the point where, like, you're spending a lot of money on digital audio players. Like, this is $1,900, almost $2,000 US. This is over $2,000 US. When you're spending this much money on audio gear, there's going to be diminishing returns, right? So I already felt like the Cayin N7 is, like, compared it to the Astell Kern SC300, which is their mid-range player. It's like slightly better. Like, I liked it better because it was like more it sounded more fun, dynamic, engaging. It was just like sounded more musical, for lack of a better word. But the soundstage and detail was maybe like 10% better than the SC300. It wasn't that much better. It was just like maybe 10% better, right? The SC300 came pretty close to this. It was just a different type of sound. I just felt like it was more analytical, more neutral. This one sounded more fun and engaging. Maybe 10% better on the soundstage and details. And then the SP3000M now, which is the top of the line Astell & Kern for the range. It does have like more detail and soundstage than the N7, but again, it's maybe like 10-15%. It's really not that much. Like I can definitely hear there's a bit more separation between the frequencies, a bit more refined. Yeah, maybe like a slightly elevating maybe the bass and treble a little bit, but overall I think, yeah, these two are pretty close. I think the SP3000M maybe like 10-15% better in terms of the detail, separation, clarity, and soundstage, but it's not like a huge difference or anything like that. So it's really diminishing returns at this point, right? Like jumping from a $500 player to a $1,000 player is going to be a much bigger difference than $1,000 to $2,000 basically. So yeah, SC300 already I thought was pretty good. That was already like noticeably better than my Hi-B RS6, which is my old music player. This is my Hi-B RS6, my old music player. Already the SC300 was kind of like a noticeable jump from that, because the RS6 is kind of like a $1,000 player. SC300 was, yeah, probably more noticeable, jumping from the RS6, and then the N7 maybe like 10% more detailed than the SC300. But really the reason why I preferred the N7 over the SC300 came down to the tonality. I just felt like I preferred the more fun, engaging type of listen out of this player. So yeah, it just felt more fun and musical to me than the SC300 did, even though the SC300 had an R2R DAC. The 1-bit DAC on the N7 just felt more musical and engaging. SP3000M, actually I think Astell & Kern goes back to the more reference neutral type of tone again, because from the SC300 to the SP3000M, I feel like the tonality is kind of similar. Like, it's not, maybe I would say it's not quite as engaging as or dynamic as the N7, but it is more detailed and has a wider soundstage. But again, it's like 10-15% difference, right? Not really that much. Only you would notice if you compare it side by side. If you didn't compare it side by side, there's no way you would notice that, right? You just think that if you just listen to them standalone, they're both really great music players. Just if you compare them side by side, the SP3000M, yes, 10-15% better details, separation, soundstage, everything. But yeah, only if you compare them side by side. Also, the tonality is different. I think that the SP3000M and the SC300, I think Astell & Kern players in general try to go for the more reference neutral type of sound, whereas the N7 sounds a bit more fun and engaging, I would say. Maybe slightly warmer, but yeah. Both of these are great music players. Can't go wrong with either of them. Yeah, like the difference between them is really small, basically. You're talking about like 10-15% difference in sound quality. But if I were to pick one, of course, I would go for the SP3000M. Not just because it sounds a little bit better, but because it's way more portable. Like the N7 is this massive, like, feels like you're carrying a power bank with you, right? Like a battery charger, a portable power bank for your phone. This is what it feels like. It's just a massive device, right? You can compare the size difference between the two, right? The SP3000, I mean, the SP3000M is thick. It's still thick. Maybe almost as thick as the N7, so it's still thick, but it's just the size, the footprint, right? And that's what really matters. If I'm going to be putting this in my pocket, this is something that will not go into a lot of people's pockets. It's just massive, right? So, especially not a tight jeans pocket. If you have a tight jeans and skinny jeans, which I like to wear, not going to go into it, right? SP3000M, sure, no problem. It'll slip into your jeans just fine. Yes, it is thick, but it'll still slip into your jeans, right? It's much smaller. So if I were to pick between the two, it's going to be based on the actual usability factor, not the sound quality difference. I don't think the sound quality difference is enough to justify just picking one over the other, but It's the usability, right? Like, sure, I like Android. That's a great thing about this one, is that it's full-blown Android, and you can install any app that you want on it. So just keep that in mind. If you do need the other apps that you can just freely install, then of course you have to go for the N7. The Astell Kern won't let you install other apps. But if all you care about is just listening to music, then I'm going to pick the SP3000M because it's a lot more portable. So yeah, and it's snappy enough. The interface is actually snappy enough for me to use, unlike the previous Astell Kern I've used. So yeah, for me, since I'm getting this just for music, I don't think, like, I guess if I wanted to install streaming apps and stuff onto it, then I wouldn't go for this. Like, if I needed this to stream something to my home receivers and stuff that need a special app like Kiosk or PlayFi or something like that, I can't get this, right? Because it wouldn't work. And of course, if I wanted to watch videos or something, YouTube or something like that, I can't get this either. But if I'm just listening to music, which I mostly do, I'm listening to music offline mostly. I don't really stream music that much. Then this is fine. I'm gonna go for this because yeah, my music library is basically offline, so I don't have to listen to any streaming services, and I'm using this just for music. So in that case, I'm going for the SP3000M, not just because of sound quality, but because of the form factor. So that's really important to me. Also, yes, it is a bit more powerful as well. Not like a huge difference, but it can drive my headphones like a little bit better than the N7 can. So keep that in mind. This is maybe like, yeah, 700 milliwatts, 800 milliwatts, around that. This is like 500 milliwatts, so maybe a little bit better power from that. Also, another cool thing I noticed is it doesn't really get hot like the SC300 did. Yeah, the N7 actually might get hot sometimes. SP3000M, despite the small form factor. Maybe it's because it's got the copper nickel alloy, I don't know. But so far, yeah, didn't get too hot for me. You can also switch between AB and A mode on this thing as well. I've been using A mode because that's the better sound, slightly better sound quality. But yeah, I still think the SP3000M, yeah, 10 to 15% better probably in terms of sound quality. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I would say if you're choosing between these two, it's not going to depend on the sound quality because they're pretty close in sound quality. Like, this is maybe 10 to 15% like better in soundstage and detail, but it's not enough to justify that. What you're going to choose is based on how you're using it. So if you don't mind carrying around a brick like this, and you actually do need to have the Android apps that you normally like install, right, you can't get on the AK, then yeah, go for the Cayin N7, right? It runs full-blown Android, reasonably snappy interface and everything. You can install any app that you want on it from the Play Store. So yeah, also has a dedicated line outs, which is nice. You don't have to switch in the software. It also has an I2S connector, which is pretty cool too. The crown isn't quite as clicky as the Astell Kern is. It's a little bit more loose. But yeah, if you have a case with it, it should be fine. I just kind of worry that you accidentally hit it, but I think it's fine when you have the case. SP3000M, again, you need to have a case with this, otherwise the sharp edges will bother you. But yeah, crown is really nice to use. Yeah, it's reasonably snappy interface and everything. Sound quality is good. The form factor is really important for this one because it actually is quite portable. And the only thing being that the limitation of not having the full Android, really. That's really, I think, the major limitation of this one, which is something that they fixed in the newer SP4000. So yeah, I think in the future we'll be just seeing full-blown Android out of Astell and Kern. But this is probably their last generation where they're using their own like closed operating system, I guess, that's skinned on like a heavy skin on Android essentially. Because I think that's really the major limitation of this one, is you can't just install any app that you want onto it. But otherwise, it's a really nice music player. If you're just listening to music, you don't need any of those other apps, then I highly recommend the SP3000M. It's probably the most portable and high quality sounding music player that you can get on the market right now. So yeah, that's even compared to the SP4000, because the SP4000 is bigger. So until they make an SP4000M, the SP3000M is still, yeah, the most portable, best sounding music player that you can get currently on the market. So that's it, guys. I now have a sound test coming up. So this was my subjective comparison. Now you guys can listen to kind of sound test to see if you guys can hear a difference yourself using the Dan Clark Neuro X's. I'm just going to be playing it through the microphone. So yeah, stay tuned for that, and let me know what you guys think of the Astell Kern SP3000M. Of course, it's very expensive, so just buy it on a discount. Of course, with Astell, all Astell and Kern products and music players in general, right? They're all expensive, probably overpriced, but Astell and Kern more overpriced than even the other Chinese players. So just wait for a discount if you really want this one. Like it's really expensive if you just buy MSRP, which I would never do. So, yep, that's it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and stay tuned for the sound test.
It better be like $4,000 for that thing, man. $4,000.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it should be a nice box.
For some people, man, that might be the most expensive thing they would ever buy in their whole life.
Exactly, yeah.
A person that never buys...
let alone for a music player.
Yeah, for a person who never buys their own real estate and they don't buy a car,
Whoa.
This might be the most expensive thing ever in their life.
This feels really premium, man.
I know, it feels really nice, actually. I hate the edges, but still, it feels nice.
Yeah. No, the weight actually makes it feel more substantial.
Yeah.
And, this is the copper nickel version. It's actually a limited version. So this is actually originally more expensive than the regular version.
Yeah, I noticed. So yeah, it's a good deal. You got it for pretty much half price.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. Where's the shaft and stuff?
Yeah, this one is really heavy duty. This Cayin N7,
yeah.
Like how huge it is. It's massive.
Yeah, not that heavy, but it's massive though.
Yeah,
this is actually lighter than that one.
It's lighter, but it's huge. The physical size is huge.
But
right?
that's the one that I listened to that before, didn't I? Or is that a new one?
You didn't.
Oh, that's a new one. Okay.
No, this actually has the 1-bit DAC inside, which is similar to the RU7 one, but this isn't a DAP. So, yeah, and it's like you can see how thick it is. It's got all these outputs and stuff.
What's the MSRP for this one?
2,000, I think.
2,000. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a Cayin, right?
It's a Cayin. Yeah, I got it like half price.
Cool, cool.
But no, this is like compared to the SP3000 and these Hy-Vs, it's like way better, like way more soundstage, dynamics and everything. But yeah, you can test it out. The power is actually not that much, but the thing is, it's kind of deceiving. It's only 500 milliwatts, but it feels a lot more than that. Like I can easily drive my Dan Clarks with it. I mean, you can try with the Dan Clarks, but I can easily drive it with it, even though it's like only 500.
We'll try
so
when I come back.
Yeah. So you already tried the SP3000M, right?
Yes,
and you said it was like slightly better than the unplugged.
Okay, so yeah, if it's both unplugged, then if we use IEMs, it's slightly, in my opinion, slightly better than the M23s. It depends on the track. Some tracks are more noticeable. The difference is just that it's a slightly more warmer sound, slightly. And also, its soundstage for this AK is a little bit smaller, more intimate than the soundstage on M23. M23 sound is a little bit bigger, but because of that, the mids are a little bit less forward than this AK. So the AK, the mids are a bit more forward, and the bass is a bit more rounded with shape. And then soundstage is more intimate. That's really the difference.
Okay,
and on some tracks with natural instruments, I swear I think the drums sounds a little bit more natural by just a little bit. Yeah, that's what it. But then once you go up to desktop mode for M23, playing hard to drive headphones, then of course the M23 is better with the power. So yeah.
But you tried it with IEMs?
IEM, but my other comparison was just IEMs, like unplugged IEMs.
Right.
If that's the case, then AK is a little bit better.
That's what I'll be using it mostly with.
Yeah. So in that case, I think the AK is a little bit better. Okay. I like the sound a bit more balanced sound.
Should be for it's like 3 times the price.
Yeah.
4 times the price.
Hey man, it's AK, man. It's Astell and Kern. Yeah, Astell, Kern. So do you find out who the hell Astell and who the hell Kern is?
No, it's based on some Greek word or something.
Some Greek word?
Greek word.
Oh, interesting. Does it have joint protectors already? Oh wow. It comes in a protective too. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Oh wow.
This interface is definitely noticeably better, much faster than
before
the SD300. I think the SD300 had a lower processor.
Okay.
Yeah, the processor is not as good as this one. This one is actually decently fast, so that's good. Which is that to me is a huge thing. If this thing's slow, then it's not usable.
Yeah.
Yeah, so being snappy is really amazing.
Come on, for this price, man.
I mean, their previous DAPs are around this price, and they were slow. So at least this one is decent speed.
Yeah, that's kind of sad. Pretty close.
Close?
Yeah, you're really close. Yeah, really close. Yeah, not too much difference between these two. if I had to pick, maybe I would take this by a hair. I think this one sounds a bit more natural at times. Maybe I'm not sure is it the AKM chip, but they're so close. Like we're picking hairs here. But this one, there's a few frequencies where I felt like there's a few frequencies that sounded a little bit like it was a little bit in the background. A few frequencies, like a few frequencies where maybe it mudded up a little bit.
Yep.
A little bit. Whereas this one, I felt like those came out a bit more clear in those few little frequencies, but they're really close, like neck and neck, pretty much. Like any differences, like matter percentage points, is like, yeah, pretty much about the same, honestly. These two, yeah.
But your Fire will have more power though when plugged in.
Yeah, exactly. My Fire has more power to it plugged in.
Well, that makes sense because I felt like the SP3000M was just like a touch more detailed.
Yeah.
Like, but just like a little bit, you know,
Yeah.
not really by much.
Yeah, like I felt these are so close, but I feel maybe if I had to pick, I might still pick this one, but they're really close. This one and that one, after like repeated testing, they're pretty close too.
Yeah.
But once you hear a difference, yeah, that one, as long as it's not plugged in, both of them on IEMs, I think that one sounds just a touch more better. Yeah. All the sounds from the mid's a touch more forward, the bass is a touch more shaped.
Yeah.
And then maybe just a hair more detail in the treble, just a hair.
Yeah.
Everything's just a little bit, a few percentage points.
Yeah.
So so the sound here just feels just a touch more cohesive and rounded, just a touch more. So just a bit more refined, just a little bit more.
I think so. I felt the same way comparing these two. I felt like this is like just like a few percentage points
Exactly.
even
It's
better
just
in
a
this
few
one.
percentage points.
And if this is the same as that one, then
this is really close, and I think I'll give a hair advantage to the M23s.
Yeah.
Really close with a bit advantage to this one. And this one, there's a few percentage points, maybe going for this one for the IEMs.
Yeah.
So that's what I heard. So yeah, if you can choose these two, then it's that one.
Yeah, and plus this one's like smaller anyways.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. Yeah, so that one is a little bit better for IEMs. Yeah. How much was this Cayin player?
This is actually 2,000 MSRP.
USD or?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, honestly, then I'd much rather take the M23 then, if that's the case. Yeah, I think the M23
Makes sense.
is really close, just a touch better. It's way cheaper.
Way cheaper and also way like lighter and smaller overall. The Cayins, these are like a battery pack.
Yeah.
It's huge.
This is smaller, and this one sounds at least as good. And this one has a desktop mode where I can plug it in for more power. Yeah, and yeah.
Yeah, these ones are.
This is $1,000 Canadian MSRP. So yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, this is still a good sounding player, but it's just it's.
But then Cayin's always been a little bit more expensive anyway, you know.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. Also, it's a unique DAC. It's a 1-bit DAC, so it's just a little bit different than any other DAC up there. Yeah. So if you, same thing the RU7, right? I don't see any other like DAC like that. So.
Yeah, the RU7 sounds pretty nice.
It should be actually the same, similar or same, because they're both like 1-bit DACs, right? So I think they just took the RU7 and put it inside a DAP.
The difference is you might also want to test your Cayin player out is to see what type of filters the DAC has, because what happens is the 1-bit DAC on the Cayins, they have a very special thing where like it goes by I think how many bits or how many hertz for their filter. So there's
So right now it's so what first it's class A, right?
Yep.
It could be class B, but I put on class A.
How many bits is the?
And I put on DSD 128.
120, okay.
It goes up to DSD 512.
Okay.
But the thing is, I think the difference is not too big once you get to 128. Like difference between 128 to 512 is actually not that much, and you lose some battery life if you go up to 512.
So let me guess. There's 64, 128, 256, and 512.
Yep.
So on the RU7, it's 64, 128, and 256.
Okay, this goes to 512. So yeah.
Well, on the RU7, between those three, I can hear a huge difference between the three. So it sounds really different to me, like all three. Like on the RU7.
Well, if you want to go to 512, you can go to 512 on here
okay,
and try it again.
Okay. I have a feeling like.
But that was 128, so that should be pretty high already.
128 was kind of like for RU7 was kind of like that middle ground. Yeah, where you kind of still want to sound a little bit analog, but then not completely just pure clear.
Yeah.
Then I think if I want to compete with this one, I might need to set that to at least 256 to compete with this one.
The thing is, once you go up too high, it sounds could sound a little bit unnatural, because you're oversampling quite a bit once you go up that high.
I see.
So yeah, you're right. 128 is probably, and plus you're using up more battery life as you do that as well, because it takes up more power to do that. But yeah, I usually would keep it 128. You could go 512 with this if you want, but it's like massively oversampling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like can I check the filters for the DAC? the Astell and Kern that you have here, and also my M23, they both use the same default filter. They have the same default filters, both of them.
It's like some slow roll-off thing.
Yeah, something slow, sharp, whatever. Both of them are the same. Yeah, same default.
Yeah, that's the default. I think that's suggested. Short delay, sharp roll-off. Yeah, maybe slow roll. No, that's the default. I don't know, slow roll-off might be better or not, but also it's pretty interesting. This one doesn't have. Okay, it's not R2R. Yeah, it's not R2R or 1-bit. It doesn't have a Class A V mode.
Not R2R? What do you mean? Which one?
The AK is not R2R. This is just an AKM DAC.
Oh yeah, it's AKM DAC.
Yeah, so usually if you have R2R or 1-bit, you can change between Class A, Class AB.
Yep.
But if it's just a AK DAC, you can't do that. So.
The sun is setting and you're right here by my side, and the movie is playing, but we won't be watching tonight. Every look, every touch makes me wanna give you my heart. I've been crushing on you, baby. Stay right where you are, 'cause I never knew you could hide moonlight in your hands till the night I held you. The sun is setting and you're right here by my side, and the movie is playing, but we won't be watching tonight. Every look, every touch makes me wanna give you my heart. I've been crushing on you, baby. Stay right where you are, 'cause I never knew you could hide moonlight in your hands till the night I held
Got to get you into my life, into my life. Got to get you into my life, into my life. Got to get you into my life, into my life. Got to get you into my life, into my life. Got to get you into my life, into my life. I was alone, I took a ride, didn't know what I would find. There, into my life, into my life. Got to get you into my life, into my life. Got to get you into my life, into my life. Got to get you into my life, into my life.